All right. I think
Intro.
it's going.
Intro.
Welcome. Are we going?
It's go.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. Yeah, welcome to this episode,
Oh,
not numbered, because I don't remember what number we're on, of Good Neighbor, Bad Golfer, where we're probably going to talk very little about golf, but it will be in there.
hmm
Um,
hmm
Last time we did a little mock draft of
Top
the,
10.
the top 10.
Yep.
So today we're definitely going to talk about, the draft and how we did. Also, how what we thought.
How teams didn't do.
Yeah, so definitely there were a few surprises in there for sure.
Yeah.
I think obviously the first big surprise has got to be Penix to the Falcons at number 8.
Atlanta. Yeah.
That was I did see there was a in the last episode. You're like, if the Falcons aren't going defense, what are we doing here?
Did you know that they didn't pick one defensive player the whole draft?
Are you serious?
Not one. Yep. There. Yeah. I.
Whew.
Somebody fact check me. I'm not going to look it up right now, but I heard a report that they did not take one defensive player the entire
This
draft.
doesn't have to do with elections. We're not going to fact check.
Okay.
But anyway,
some troll in the comments will be like, "Oh no, in round 7, pick number 300 something."
so yeah, that's interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, 30 Mike and the boys let me down
They
with
sure
my,
did.
with my draft picks. I was a little frustrated.
Well, do we want to go
What
through them
happened?
and see how we did?
Yeah,
Number one, I think we both had Caleb Williams.
I think the whole world had
That was a
Caleb
given.
Williams. Yeah, that was.
Paint and nails and all.
Yep.
Number 2, to round out the Heisman winners in this draft, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I had JJ. That was my first crazy one off the board.
He took some gambles. That's for sure.
That's where the fun comes into play. But of course, that not going the way it did messed up the next couple of them for me as well. So
Imagine that.
But are you happy as a
I'm
Commanders
happy.
fan?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if we get him, I think he's the best available.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I think now, is there a drastic difference between him, Drake May, and JJ? Right, and I guess you got to include Penix in this too. But
apparently, everyone thinks JJ's not as good.
I think they'll be surprised. But I like Jaden Daniels. Obviously he's a Heisman winner.
Yeah.
He won it for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think he throws the ball real well.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously he can run
Mm-hmm.
as well. So having that dual threat, got to be able to protect himself.
Yeah.
That's going to be big. But
he seems a little bit bigger than your standard running quarterback that comes out of college.
Yeah,
so not Cam Newton big.
No, I don't think we're going to be running read option, up and down the field.
Yeah.
But I think having that threat definitely keeps.
Well, not only that, but he'll extend plays.
Yeah.
Which is huge in the NFL. And number 2, it could possibly get him out of some jams that could really end up getting him hurt. You know what I mean? Like instead of him getting sacked 15 to 20 times, maybe he only gets sacked 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Which is, depending on the play, it could be huge.
Just to go down memory lane, our offensive line has given up quite a few sacks over the last few years, but we've got a new regime, so
Yep.
Hopefully that will change.
Yep.
I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to be a lot of quick game, so probably, hopefully, we'll stay away from that. But anyway, number 3. So you had JJ number 2, right?
I had JJ number 2.
Okay.
Yep.
So number 3, I had Drake May.
And Drake May. What?
Okay.
I had Jaden Daniels, who would have been my thought for the new regime up in New England.
Wait, so you had Jaden Daniels there?
I had Jaden Daniels number 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So
4, we had Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
Cardinals.
That was an easy one. This is the first one I got right since number 1. Is
There
number
you go.
5. Or next is number 5.
Also, did you watch the broadcast with Pat McAfee?
I was flipping back and forth. Yeah, just I don't know why the YouTube broadcast made me think I was in my 90s childhood home
it definitely did.
with a tube TV. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there with the camera, the production value on that one.
Production value is not great, but the entertainment value was high.
Oh, it was up there. It was up there with the angry Mel Kiper.
Mad Mel, yeah, that was great.
Yes.
And then having Belichick there
That's
too.
huge.
That
That
dynamic
brought
with
viewers.
them, I thought was awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you should have heard Belichick talk about Caleb Williams and Jaden Day, all three of the first
Breaking them down.
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Not a ton of positives there, out of him. But
Coach B's never been one to select a high end quarterback.
But it was awesome to hear him, break them down. And he also did highlight some of the good things they do. Sure. But obviously, it's definitely coach talk. Like he's sitting there, breaking it down.
When's the last time you seen him ever high on any rookie? Any rookie,
yeah,
at all. I mean, he's gonna critique the hell out.
If he is, he's not gonna let you know either.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Yep. But that was cool. Number 5, we had the Chargers.
Yep.
I had J.C. Latham.
Joe Alt.
Yep.
He was the best tackle on the board. I know you went strategy in that one, or like scheme and everything like that. But like I said, I think Joe Alt's that one step ahead of those other guys, just as far as overall package put together. That it's kind of hard to not draft a guy like that.
I didn't realize he was like 6'9".
I didn't realize that either. Yes, that is a massive human being right there. Yeah. So if he doesn't maul, he can be taught to maul at 6'9".
Yeah.
Reminds me of that guy. Remember Bryant McKinney?
Yeah.
He was on our Super Bowl run back in 2012 for the Ravens. Nasty, nasty dude. Lazy as hell, but when he was on the field, he was the nastiest human being, and he was a giant. I think he was 6'9" too.
Yeah.
He was an
crazy.
absolute monster of a man. So, but how about the criticism Harbs got?
Did he?
They were like all the missing weapons that you had, your choice of any weapon in this draft. He came out and said, he goes, our team views offensive linemen as weapons.
I did hear him say that, but I didn't know they were criticizing him.
Yeah.
Yep. I think he's gonna build his team
the way he wants. Out. Yes. Yeah. So and I think
that's what he did at Michigan.
Yes, and I also think that that's the reason why he went with the Chargers over teams like Atlanta and everything like that, because the Chargers probably said, here, please fix this. You know what I mean? When the other teams were probably like, we still want to have a little bit of control. You know what I mean? So like with Atlanta, their owner, he's always down on the field. You don't see Chargers owner anywhere. He's kind of like Bisciotti.
I don't even know who their owner is.
Exactly. He's kind of like Bisciotti. He's like, you guys know football. You guys do the football. So yeah. I think him going with the Chargers was the Chargers saying, we know you know what you're doing. Please do it.
Let's go a little inside baseball here. Who do you think plays left tackle for the Chargers, Alt or Rashawn Slater? Slater's played well the last 2 years, I guess he's been in the league. And he was I think he's a top 10 pick.
I think Slater gets moved because he's in his contract year, I believe.
Okay.
So if he gets moved to right tackle, that saves that team easily $5 million a year against the cap, because he'll have to sign a contract as a right tackle instead of a left tackle.
Some of the right tackles are still getting paid too.
They are. Don't get me wrong, but I think that Harbaugh's belief is that having those two huge bookends on both sides of his offensive line is, I think that that's where he wants to establish, and then he's just going to have 3 of the nastiest guards and center in there to run the ball up the middle, and then he wants those tackles to protect Herbert, because look what Herbert's been able to do without the best protection, but he had all those weapons on the outside. Now he doesn't have nowhere near the same weapons. Keenan Allen's, he's generational wide receiver, stuff like that. But I think he's going to do with that offense what he wants to do, and I think with the run opportunity that they're going to have, I mean, look what Austin Eckler did behind a mediocre line there for so many years. Imagine what a regular running back can do behind that line.
Well, he's going to get to play behind another mediocre line. But anyway, I think it is interesting. I'll be paying attention to see what they do there, whether they swing him out, as he is so massive. Do they play him on the right side for a year and then
transfer him over?
Yeah, bump him over.
Yeah,
depending on what happens with Slater's contract, because I think there was a little talk on him not playing as well last year, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, but I think my prediction is Joe Alt left tackle, Slater right tackle.
Yeah, I think you spend that high of draft capital. I think you
Mm-hmm.
have to. You're probably putting them on the
Mm-hmm.
left side.
Yep. And when
Um,
you look at the NFL nowadays, most defenses don't have just one good defensive lineman,
yeah,
one good defensive end.
good
Yeah.
defenses.
So either way, yes, exactly. So either way, whether you're left tackle or right tackle, you're going to be going up against competition every single week.
Yeah,
You're not getting an easy week.
I mean he's not going to have an easy day at practice. He's got
No.
Khalil Mack, Bosa,
Bosa. Yep.
so that's going to
Yeah.
be
Iron sharpens iron, though.
yeah,
Iron sharpens iron. So I hope that Khalil Mack, being the veteran that he was one of the first ones to reach out and say, let's get to work. Let me introduce you to the NFL, show you what to expect, stuff like that, because it's not many since Von Miller can you compare to Mack coming off the edge
yeah,
and stuff like that in the league. I mean, obviously Von doesn't do it no more, but when he was the premier.
yeah.
So and now I would say Khalil Mack was your premier recently. So
Even over the last 2 years.
not over the last 2 years, but I'm saying he's the on that team. He's going to be the one who can say
Let's get it. Let's get into that. I
he's
think
been
we just
around a little
uncovered
bit.
something here.
He's been around a little
Who's
bit.
the more premier rusher, him or Bosa?
Right now,
Mm-hmm.
Bosa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over the last 2 years,
Mack. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it took Joey a couple of years. Where his brother Nick came in and just was straight up gangster.
Yeah.
But I think it took Joey a little bit, and then he kind of what was it, not last year but the year before, when they were up by like 20 some points on the Jags, and the Jags came back and beat them, and you saw him throwing his little temper tantrum on the sideline. I really wanted Khalil Mack to just go and jack his ass up.
So you're a big Khalil Mack guy.
I'm a big Khalil Mack guy.
Okay.
Yes, I used to. Yeah, when he was on the Raiders, when he was on the Bears, I believe
I forgot he played for the Raiders for a while.
Yeah, I truly believe that he would. He was. It was him, or it was Aaron Donald, him
Okay.
as defenders in the league. Yeah, that was my opinion. Those years, but just talking specifically about that team. Yeah, I think does Joey Bosa has a bigger motor now because Mac's been in the league long enough and Bosa's still really young.
Yeah.
But I think just overall skill, Mac still hasn't beat. But maybe going into this year, Bosa takes that leap and maybe actually learns something from if Mac's even teaching him. I don't know. I haven't heard much about Mac's character as far as what he does with the rest of the defense, but
I have no idea. I pay very little attention to the Chargers, to be honest.
Same. Yeah, same. Unless I had someone on their team that was on my fantasy team, I really didn't care much.
Yeah.
So.
So you had that one right.
Yep.
I had J.C. Latham. That was wrong.
You skipped
if I flip flopped mine, I would have been all right. Because I had Alt to the Titans at 7,
and they ended
Latham.
up with JC.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, Giants.
Giants didn't.
Who did they pick? I don't even remember.
Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's right.
They're still on the Daniel Jones train. Do you watch those gridiron skits at all? The animated gridiron skits from the NFL and everything. I think they're from Bleacher Report. So it was a little skit, and it was their coach like in the draft room and everything, and it was Daniel Jones behind him saying, "Don't take an effing quarterback. You better not take a quarterback. You better not take a quarterback. You better not take it," because there were still quarterbacks available.
Yeah,
obviously J.J. McCarthy was still there. Michael Penix, they were all still there. You better not take a quarterback, and he's like, "We're taking Malik Neighbors." Daniel Jones was like, "Oh, thanks. God. Yes, yeah." And then the very next thing was. It was a shot of like somebody throwing the ball way up in the air, and Malik Neighbors is standing there looking at it like this, and it falls 10 feet behind him. And it's like what it's like to have Daniel Jones as your quarterback.
Oh man. Yeah. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah. They're gonna need to get the ball in Malik Neighbors' hands other than on slants and go routes and stuff. Because I just don't think Daniel Jones has it. I really don't. Maybe he can prove me wrong, but I don't know. They lost their biggest threat in the backfield.
Yeah, no more Saquon.
Nope. So they're not as dangerous anymore back there handing the ball off.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Who did you have them taking? Did you
I
have
had
that?
Drake. I had Drake May falling that
Okay.
far, or Rome Odunze.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you had the either ors.
Yeah, I had a couple either ors. Yeah, like I said, because I took some flyers, some long shots along the way. I wanted to
Yeah.
have a couple either ors.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
All right. And
So
then after the Giants, we
Tennessee.
had Tennessee.
Yep.
Who Tennessee went J.C. Latham, right?
Yes. Who was
Okay.
like you said, the next best tackle available.
Yep.
Yep.
Which that'll be another one that'll be interesting to see whether they play him at left or right.
Yep.
So has he
Yep.
played right in college? Will he play left in the NFL? That's quite the jump, but
I think it all depends upon where they want their strength of the line to be.
yeah,
That too. I mean, I didn't study their offensive line, but who's their better guard? Is it their left guard or their right guard? JC's known for, run blocking for the most part. So do you put him with that premier run blocking guard
yeah.
and then that be your strong side?
I mean, they're another one similar to the Chargers that drafted a tackle last year.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, Skoronski?
Yep.
And pretty sure I don't know if he played left or they kicked him inside
I think they kicked him
or what they
inside.
did with him, but
Yeah.
I
Well,
know he
that's a whole
played a
new
lot
coach.
last
It's a
year.
whole new coaching staff now too.
Old Bill Callahan.
So all that stuff could get reversed as well. Whatever Mike Vrabel did could all get reversed.
Might be the greatest offensive line coach in history. So if anyone can teach this guy to play left tackle, it's going to be him.
Yep.
So, um,
Yep. I agree.
so I think we both missed that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the Falcons.
But we were. I'm sorry, real quick, just to back it up one. But we were both on the same page. We knew they had to go offensive line.
Yeah.
Because I had Fashanu
Okay.
going to them.
Yep.
So we were both on the same page as far as that. At least as far as we kind of went, we knew who needed an offensive lineman the most, and that's where they went.
Yeah.
So, but yes, next to the bombshell.
Yeah. I had, Quinyon Mitchell.
That's he went.
I was wrong.
He fell way down.
He went to Toledo. I think that's why.
Well, I had Dallas Turner, who was
He dropped to 15 or something like that?
yeah, he was arguably the best defender on the board,
Yeah.
like in this draft. And for a team that needed defense, nope, we're gonna pay Kirk Cousins 180 million, 100 million guaranteed. Oh, by the way, we're gonna draft his backup, who by the time Kirk's I heard that by the time Kirk's contract is up, Michael Penix will be 27 years old.
Who cares? Yeah.
Atlanta's
It's
the dumpster fire
mean,
jumped from 6 to 8. We really thought the Giants were going to just blow it. I think they got a real weapon with Malik Neighbors. Now, what they do with it's on them. But
here's the spin zone that I've heard on the Falcons pick.
okay,
They liked Penix so much, and Kirk Cousins is on a 4-year deal.
Yep.
But
coming off a major injury.
yes.
Yep.
So he's that 4-year deal is pretty much a 2-year deal with an option after 2, I believe.
Okay.
Okay.
Or
that's at least what I've heard.
Okay.
Whether or not that's correct, I don't know.
Guaranteed money up front, and then the last 2 years are probably production.
Yeah.
Okay.
So get through those 2 years. He's what, 36 or something now?
Mm-hmm.
He's older.
Yeah.
You get 2 years of good production out of him, or if he starts to fall off, you've got this option here because the way the Falcons, the way they were thinking with this pick is they're not going to be back in the top 10.
For a while. Yeah.
So they went and got their quarterback now because if they're not in the top 10, and Kirk Cousins is there for 2 years.
Okay. I don't mind that.
They got their guy. So if you look at it that way, it kind of makes sense. Still bizarre,
yes, to spend that sort of pick with all the other needs that you had. But okay, yeah, if I'm looking at it that way, okay, I can kind of see where that's coming from. As in, if Kirk's only there for 2 years, because the NFC South is wide open.
Yeah, they could win the division
with Kirk. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Kirk could lead that. I don't think Kirk's going to lead them to the promised land, but
no,
Kirk could lead them to the playoffs, win that division this year. Cool, gets some momentum going and everything. Maybe that helps pull more free agents in. Never know. Guys want to go to a winning team when you're a free agent most times. Some go after the money. Some want a winning team. But maybe Atlanta sees these next 2 years as a coachable moment for Michael Penix and a moment for him to really recover from all the injuries that he's had. I mean, he's had shoulder injuries, knee injuries. I mean, the guy's been banged up a little bit, so maybe being on the bench for the next year and a half,
Learn from Kirk Cousins.
learn from Kirk. Yep. Learn how his agent wheels and deals. That's who I want to learn from, to be honest.
Learn how to get that guaranteed money.
Right. So, but okay, yeah, looking at it like that, I still don't agree with it. But we're not.
Yeah,
we're not managers.
Wouldn't say I do either.
We're not GMs in the NFL, so I don't know.
Ultimate dream job, though.
Oh, still is. Will always be. Absolutely. Yep.
And then the Bears. I had Byron Murphy. I was wrong.
Yep. I had Terry and Arnold. Yep. I was way off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rome was still there because I had Rome going earlier. I had Rome going to the Giants, and they went neighbors instead. They took another offensive weapon. What a wide receiving room. Wow.
DJ Moore,
Keenan Allen,
and
Rome Odunze.
Or Dunze.
Yeah.
I don't know how
I'm
to
sticking
say
with
that.
my first enunciation of it. I'm not trying that again.
I'm
just going to call him Rome.
I mean, I think they're really setting Caleb Williams up to
success. Yeah, I mean, you spend the number 1 overall pick on a quarterback. You got to give him weapons. You have to, right? You can't draft him have no weapons, and then stuff like that. And they touched on the Bears O-line because me and you did as well. Like, did they need O-line help? And it's like, there's not one team that couldn't use O-line help ever. Like, there's always going to be that one person who is a little better, but I think they're confident in what they have, and I think they're confident in what Caleb can do with the line that he has. Now, looking at the past few years, Justin Fields, like, you would say he was running for his life, but did he not have the weapons around? I mean, obviously he didn't have Keenan Allen around him.
He didn't have DJ Moore until, was that last year?
Just last year.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and DJ Moore came out, like, called him out. Like, he don't throw the ball.
Yeah.
Just let it get, like, I think Justin Fields' biggest knock is he just wouldn't let it go. He refused to let the ball go. So, I don't know.
His windows only get smaller.
They do.
So,
yes, they do.
I mean, I think, let's look at it this way. Has any number 1 pick quarterback ever walked into a better situation than Caleb Williams?
Not with the weapons that he has around him, and not with a GM who's willing to go out and get whatever's needed.
And a defense that's pretty good.
A pretty damn good defense, yeah. In a division where you now have Minnesota that has a rookie quarterback, Green Bay's pretty good, Detroit's really good. I mean, you're in a tough division, so you got to compete now.
Yeah,
you have to. If you don't compete now, you might as well chalk. I would say if you don't want to compete now, you need to chalk up the next 5 to 8 years, because I don't think Detroit's going away anytime soon. And with the way Jordan Love played last year, if it was a flash in the pan, we'll find out. But if it wasn't, Green Bay's going to be someone to talk about for the next coming years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you're not in an easy division at all, and I think personally, and I mean, they ended up trading up for the next pick. We were going to get to them, but I think Minnesota had the best first round out of anybody.
Arguably.
Yeah. So traded up, got their quarterback, because, I mean, were the Jets going to take J.J. McCarthy at 10?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
So Rodgers has a year left on his contract.
They're all in right now.
I get no. I get that they're all in, but what happens after Rodgers? What if Rodgers goes down again? You're chalking up a whole nother year, and I guess hoping on next year's draft class.
Yeah, I mean that. You just hope lightning doesn't strike twice there.
Yeah, I guess. I guess
that's that. But I think they did what they had to do: draft an offensive lineman.
Oh, the Jets, absolutely, yeah. Because the 2 guys that you got, yes, they're veterans, but they've had some injury issues the past 2 years.
Yeah.
So I think you bring in this Fashanu, who I thought was the second best tackle, and was, everybody kind of, I guess, ranked him
second best left. I would
second
say,
best left, yeah. So, but you bring in a guy like that out of Penn State, who's most likely going to start immediately, but he's around a couple of veterans in the offensive line room who can really coach him up.
Yeah.
So
He may not start immediately because, I didn't realize this until I heard it on draft night, but they signed like Tyron Smith. They signed another tackle that's been around a while, Morgan Moses.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
we traded him back
So,
because we traded for him. I'll say we Ravens. We traded for him last year, and then we gave him back to them this year.
yeah.
Like that's where he came from, and yeah, and they still got Mekhi Becton.
No,
Or no, he just signed somewhere else, didn't
he
he?
did. I think
Okay,
it might have been Philly, I think.
okay, yeah, I did see his name. They had Mekhi back then anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, but so maybe you see him switch over to a guard this year.
Yeah.
Imagine Fashanu and Tyrone Smith on the left side of the line.
Yep. Can Tyron Smith hold up for a whole year? That's the question.
Yeah, that too.
But
That too.
yeah, I mean, definitely interesting. So the actual number 10 pick was JJ, right?
Yes, JJ
Okay.
McCarthy to the Vikings. Vikings traded up with the Jets, basically just swapped because Jets had 10.
Yeah.
They just went up, and I think Jets got an extra third round pick. I can't remember if it was this year or next year.
Mm-hmm.
So you get an extra third round pick, you move back one, you still get your offensive lineman that you wanted.
Yeah.
So I guess they weren't as big on JJ to be the heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers. So I really thought they were going to get another offensive weapon there. I think they have a great running back in New York. Their wide receiver room, I thought it may have been a little thin. Guess I'm wrong. Could be wrong. So, but I think Aaron Rodgers has carte blanche on that wide receiver room. Like he gets to say who he wants in it, and I guess maybe he didn't like.
Maybe we'll see Randall Cobb come back for another year. Or is he still on the team?
Yeah. Well,
Or did he retire?
He just keeps doing 1 year deals.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So he's just following Rodgers around.
Right.
I think trying to chase a ring at this point.
So and that rounds out the top 10.
Yes,
so
that was the top 10.
If we look back through that, I had the top 4 and then nothing else.
Yeah, I had number 1, number 4, number 5. That was it.
All right.
I had 3 of the top 10.
So next round of golf is on you.
On me. Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, definitely, as always, the first round of the NFL draft. I think it's just we're so desperate for football.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And I think everyone kind of watches that with like, oh man, the drama.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of, it definitely makes things interesting.
Have they announced who the Hard Knocks team is this year?
They have not.
No.
Who do you think it's going to be?
I thought I was going to ask you the same thing.
I was going to say Pittsburgh. Wouldn't that be interesting?
Because it was the Jets last year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, with as much surrounding them right now, oh, my father's calling. I'll answer you soon. With as much surrounding them, I mean, how do you almost not go Chicago?
Or who's more entertaining than Jim Harbaugh? Just
that can't even be a dark horse. That's got to be a top 3 favorite. Yeah, I think
living out of an RV.
I think like
interesting
all
cat.
that money that man is worth, and he's just
He's an interesting cat.
Mm-hmm.
But
mm-hmm.
You want to kind of quickly talk about what the Commanders and Ravens did?
Sure. Yeah, you go first.
Okay.
No, you go first.
Definitely like what the Commanders did.
Mm-hmm.
We got our guy in Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
We got I thought we used our top 100 picks really well.
Yeah.
Yep. We got a tight end H-back guy that some people are kind of comparing to Chris Cooley from back in the day.
CC throwback.
Guy out of Kansas State. There's like a viral thing of, I guess he played hockey too in like high school.
I did see that. And yes, where he took that guy's head off.
Yeah, probably illegal, but doesn't matter.
Can't do that.
Still looks cool anyway.
It does.
So
yeah, that's cool. That'd be cool to just have. Imagine having that on your college highlight tape.
Right.
Like your head coach is sending out like college football highlight tapes, and he just throws your hockey hit in there just to have it. I mean, I would want to have it in there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and then we got a corner from Michigan, who I think Saban said was pound for pound for pound the best football player in the draft.
Mm,
So
okay.
we'll see.
You got to take what he says to heart.
You know, and I think we got a couple offensive linemen. That first second round pick we went with the what is it? I think his last name's like Newton or something from Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
He's a stud.
Mm-hmm.
You know, watched him when Maryland played against them, and you know, he ate their lunch.
Surprise!
So
Maryland sucks.
no, they're on the way up, but
Again, again for the 5th time in 10 years, they're on their way up.
yeah. So
That
yeah,
elevator,
I like what they did.
that
And
elevator's gone up more than damn Maryland Terrapins have.
hey, it is what it is. So I think they're and we got is it Luke McCaffrey?
Yes.
So see how that goes.
Yeah.
Um,
East Coast to West Coast.
yeah, so I'm excited. You know, I think we got a lot of I think there was 9 picks.
Yeah, you
So
guys had some stock this year.
yeah, definitely like what we did.
You guys are gonna be thick in training camp. You might have the full 75 at training camp. I
Probably.
think that's the max allowed is 75.
So I like what we did. You
Yeah.
know, overall first draft with the new regime, like it. So see what happens.
It's cool to get that perspective from you, you've always followed the Commanders. You've been a Commanders fan for a long time, and you
Had some tough times.
every single year when I would text you and be like, "You ready for the draft?" You'd be like, "No, not looking forward to it." This is probably, I mean, how long have we known each other? 6 years, 7 years,
Yeah,
something like that. So I just got my 8th year anniversary.
there
Email. I've been with you know who for 8 years now.
Congrats.
Thank you. But yes, that means we've known each other for 7. But in all 7 years, I think this was one of the first times you were excited about the draft.
Yeah,
You were excited about free agency.
I'll say I've always been excited
Well,
about it.
you know what I meant.
But, you know,
Enthusiastic. All right, let me reword that. Enthusiastic.
yeah.
About it.
So we'll see what happens. I
Mhm.
think the future is bright. We have a competent front office.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
So no more Dan Snyder drafting his son's
Fantasy
buddy from
picks.
high school.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
future's bright.
Yeah.
How'd the old Ravens do?
I think we did good. I mean, I think we got the second best cornerback in the draft. The only reason we didn't get the first is because Detroit got him a couple picks before us. But yeah, kid out of Clemson, I think arguably the second best cornerback in the draft. So like NFL ready cornerback, and we needed help there. So my true thought is that we were hoping one of those decent tackles were going to fall to us down there in the late 20s, but picks 1 through 15 were all offensive players.
That was crazy.
1 through 15. Not the first defensive player wasn't taken until the 16th pick. That's nuts. So, but that reshapes the draft for everybody, right? You just keep seeing offense, 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 and it's like, wow, okay. So, like, and the Ravens, I think that we're okay. I think that we're happy with where our offense is. Obviously, with signing Derrick Henry, that shores up the backfield, but you know, our wide receiving room, letting Odell Beckham go.
No big loss there.
I don't think that hurts us. No, I think he had like 300 or 400 yards. He had a couple touchdowns. You know what I mean? So he brought some flash and everything like that. But he brought experience of playoffs, which is where
Did he? Oh yeah, I guess he was on the Rams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he won the
that's
Super
right.
Bowl.
That's right.
Yeah, not with Cleveland. No.
All right.
God, no.
Or the Giants.
Or the Giants, yeah, for that matter. But yeah, so he had that playoff experience running. I think that's the other. And we had a very, very young wide receiving room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still young, but I think that bringing in him, he's a guy that the young guys could relate to, who they watched when they were in high school and everything, making the catches and stuff that he did with the Giants and everything. So, yeah, I think the Ravens did what they had to do. They didn't jump around too much because the guys that we valued were there when we needed them. They did end up getting deeper on offensive line, so I think they drafted another center as well late. I think 6th or 7th round maybe, just to back up Lindenbaum because Lindenbaum I think he was Pro Football Focus like number 2 center in the league last year as a rookie, which is crazy. So, but you draft a guy in the first round like that. That's what you expect. You expect those results. You expect him to be a top 10 center in the league, and even with that, you got him, and then you got a Pro Bowler, maybe an All Pro, future almost All Pro with Kyle Hamilton. You know what I mean? Roaming around like that and everything. So scary defense. I think we made the moves that we needed to make on offense. We've made the moves that we needed to make, and I think are
we going to the Super Bowl?
You mean now that the Chiefs signed Tyreek Hill 2.0, maybe, or drafted him because Buffalo decided we need a wide receiver? Oh no, we don't. We're going to trade back.
And didn't they pick up Marquise Brown?
Yes, they have Marquise Brown. Yeah. So that's I don't know. It's that offense is. But what do? You have the best quarterback in the league. What do you got to do? You got to keep giving him weapons.
Oh, absolutely.
Keep giving him weapons. So now, can Marquise Brown catch? It's a 50-50. So, and can this new kid who can fly catch? We'll see. In the NFL, it's a lot. A lot of he could catch. He made all these catches in college. College is different from the NFL.
A lot easier to catch a ball when you're open.
Yes, and you only got to get 1 foot in.
So
that's a big difference.
Yeah,
that's a big difference. That took a lot of wide receivers who you would think would be great to not so great.
Yep.
So, that's my recap on the Ravens. I didn't have much. We got depth where we needed to get depth. I think starters across the board, we were good. We really didn't need that start. The Clemson guy, as long as he doesn't get injured, which is famous for the Ravens of losing guys during preseason, but as long as he doesn't get injured, he's going to come and produce right away. So in a secondary that really, really needed some depth, I think, especially, when you look at our division, we got to go up against Cleveland and Amari Cooper, who put up 300. It wasn't 300. It was what, 200 and some yards.
That's if he has Flacco throwing him the ball.
With Flacco, well, yeah, Flacco's with Indy now. I love how Flacco said, "This is my last ride," and then right as free agency started, number 1 right off the bat, he goes right to Indy. He's like, I'm out of Cleveland.
Yeah, and I think if we go back and look at it, the main surprise was Penix at number 8,
Atlanta,
and everything.
Hot Atlanta.
No offense or no defensive players taken until 15 or 16. Overall, fun to watch.
Fun draft. Yeah. Nice roller coaster. And like I said, I didn't know about the McAfee airing until you texted me, and I hurried up and pulled it up on YouTube, and I was like,
because I had to watch it on my phone because I was watching TV with my wife.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I was like, why is this in 1080p? Good Lord, I got a 4K
quality
TV.
Was not great there. It's like you're never mind. I'm not gonna say what I was about to say. Yeah, that was the draft. There we go. I know we had a note here to talk about Scottie and his odds on the last 3 majors.
Yeah, when we were talking earlier, I just this was the one little golf thing that we were going to talk about is the final 3 majors of the season. They've already got long odds out on most of the golfers, and Scottie's 4-1, 4-1, 5-1 in tournaments that we're not even really close to yet.
Crazy.
That's how. If you bet on him,
he's playing that consistent though.
He is.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully we can get out and play some golf. Maybe
I think next week. Yeah, I think we got to get in around next week. We can't go too many weeks in between without. So got to get some more content up on the page.
Yeah.
So get my power curve going. Maybe Kevin will catch me throwing my driver across.
I don't know. Do you want me to put that stuff out there? I can get that.
Me losing my shit? Absolutely.
that last round,
it's good for views.
You were.
I was up and down.
You were down for a long time.
I was down a lot. Let's be honest. Yeah. Well, wait a minute. The first tee box, I put it right in the middle of the fairway.
After that, though,
curved it up over the trees. I ended up with a bogey on a par 4.
Yeah, that was good.
I was like, okay. And then
started losing balls.
Second tee box is when the curve kicked in a little more than I wanted it to, and I had to go in the junk to get. I did find it, and then I went across, and then across. I mean, I looked like a pinball machine on that side, and then I finally just told you, I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this hole. So, but yeah, it did go downhill a little bit from there, but had a couple good par threes,
Cool.
which were nice. But
NBA playoffs. I know we haven't talked much about it, but
Lakers out.
Lakers are out.
No more LeBron. Phoenix is out.
Is this the official like changing of the guard? No more LeBron. No more KD.
No more Curry.
Or Steph. Yeah.
Yeah. Golden State's out.
So definitely interesting.
Yep. They said this is the first NBA playoffs that like will not have LeBron, Curry, or KD going to the finals since Curry was drafted. This is the first one.
Gotcha.
Since Curry was drafted, because LeBron went to like 4 in a row.
Yeah.
And then Curry turned it on by like year 3.
Yeah.
And that's when he went on a tear. So, but yeah, I mean, you got a lot of young talent out there. Tyrese Maxey with the Sixers.
They almost got bounced last night.
Yeah.
I thought the
Knicks.
Maxey hit that 3 at the end of fourth quarter.
Yeah.
To tie it up.
That was huge.
I thought they were done.
Mm-hmm.
But
that was huge. You got a lot of good young talent out there, and I mean that's no one's done better at rebuilding than Oklahoma. The Thunder.
They look good.
Yeah. Shea Alexander. I mean, that boy can ball.
Yeah.
So, should be a fun. Like I said, I'll
tune into it in a little while.
I'll tune in during the conference finals. Eastern Conference and Western Conference, I'll watch a couple games because that's when those guys kind of start playing a little bit more defense.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, as far as LeBron being out, of course, he still brings headlines when he came out and said it's just a basketball game. You know what I mean? And it's like maybe his head's not in it anymore. Now his son is coming out in the draft this year.
Is he?
Yeah. So I think LeBron declines his player option, and he goes and plays 1 year on whatever team drafts his son. And no matter what that team, I think that team is going to take a flyer on him because I don't think he's going to be a good NBA player. But I think they take a flyer just knowing that they can bring LeBron in town for a year and get the ratings and get the money from it.
True.
So
but
I think LeBron plays 1 more year, but it's unless the Lakers happen to draft Bronny.
I did hear the Lakers were willing to support that dream.
I would
because Bronny James likely wouldn't get drafted, or he would be a late second round pick, which those guys don't often even play.
No, they don't make it out of the G League,
which I still don't fully understand the G League. If it's like a minor league,
it's a minor league,
or aren't there like kids that are skipping college to now go to the G League? Like, what team do they play for? I don't understand that.
So that team picks them up in the G League, and it's a developmental league.
But the NBA teams can't like sign them out of
the G
League
NBA
if they're that part. I'm lost.
So I think the rule is NBA can't sign you directly at a high school anymore. You have to either do 2 years in college, or 1 year in college, or 1 year fully in the G League, in order for you to be NBA eligible.
Yeah, so those kids that do elect to take that year in the G League, which G League team do they play for?
Whatever one they want, essentially. It's like calling around the colleges and seeing who wants to pick up players.
It doesn't make sense to me.
That's all.
But anyway,
I'm sure that minor league teams in baseball have tryouts all the time, especially when you get to AA and everything.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm almost positive they have open tryouts from time to time. Now,
by the single A, maybe.
Single. Well, there's so many prospects out there. You know what I mean? That all you do is you call up. If you're looking at high school prospects, and you got to remember, okay, MLB. There's 9 players on the field. There's 25 players to the MLB roster, and then times 3 lower division. AAA, AA, single A, it's 100 plus.
Yeah,
times 30 some teams in the MLB. I mean, that's a lot of players. But then you have other leagues like the Ironbird League here in Maryland.
Yeah,
Cal Ripken's Ironbird. They're considered semi-professional baseball players.
Yeah, and like the Keys used to be a associated with the Orioles.
Yes.
Now there's some like developmental league.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like you have those developmental leagues. Too.
Yeah.
So the NBA really doesn't have that secondary, but when you look at it from that perspective, there's not as many there because the NBA team only has 12, and only 5 can play.
True.
At a time. So a lot of those.
I did hear something about the WNBA. So some of those people that got drafted, like even in the first round, may not even make the roster.
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
Because I guess there's so few teams
that have such good talent. Yeah, and there's not a lot. Yeah, there are not a lot of teams.
So
to begin with, yeah. So that's. I mean, they're. I think the NBA is really trying to pull them along as much as they can, but it's hard because they just don't have the viewership. Now, can Caitlin Clark bring a few more viewers? It's possible. So, but I will say this: the NBA players, you do see a lot of those guys at the WNBA games.
Yeah,
a lot of those guys at them. Yeah, like they support them a lot, which is good. That's what you want to see.
Yeah.
So, but what else? What else do we have on the docket?
Next, we had the Orioles. I think we're going Gunner for MVP.
Still hot.
So, I mean, they look good right now. The bats are hot. Pitching is really good.
So 2 games. So the Yankees are in town. They came in town a couple days ago. They had scored 30 runs in their past 2 or 3 games coming in against us. They've scored 2.
Yeah, so I love how much they hate the left field configuration now.
Love that. The fact that gets to them so badly makes me even that much more happier about it.
Yes.
Like at first I was like, all right, yeah, I do see a lot of home runs go out there because it was a short porch, it was a short fence, all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, basically it was like kind of a middle finger to Boston, like, oh, we got our own little monster now,
right? So it's that part's great, and
Gunner for MVP.
Yeah, Gunner for MVP. Yep. I did see Felix Bautista starting to throw again. So,
hey, we make a playoff run. They said if we make a playoff run, it is possible he could be pulled up to the roster.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
That'd be wild.
So
that'd be wild.
Even though Omar whistle going again.
Even right, that's so cool. Even though I don't think he was the reason that we lost last year. Like we got swept by the Rangers. I don't think the Rangers were just hot. Mm-hmm. They were a hot team last year coming into the play. They were a steam engine. But does that? I mean. Look at the past couple of losses that the Orioles have had. They've come from the back end of the bullpen. You know, Craig Kimbrell, he hasn't been exactly. I mean, he is who we thought he was. Not to mention Coach Green there. They hardly thought we were. But you know, he's had a couple shaky closing situations.
Crown. Yep. Yeah, and then Jackson Holliday got sent down.
Yep.
Not the end of the world.
I was going to say that's okay.
He'll be back.
Okay, I was waiting to see what your opinion was. We have the same opinion.
So
he got a taste. He didn't like the taste. He's got some stuff he needs to work on.
And I also think if he's in a different organization, he probably stays up and struggles. Yeah. I think because of how much talent the Orioles have right now, though, they have the flexibility to be able to do that.
We can afford to send him back down and continue developing. Got to remember, this kid is 21 years old.
Yeah.
21 years old.
And we have a lot of good infielders. You got Mateo, you got Urias, you got Westberg, Gunnar Henderson.
Westberg's hot. Everybody's radar right now. Yeah. Like how do you you're looking at your roster and it's like Jackson Holliday for the name or Westberg for the production. You as a good coach, you're gonna go with the production. You know what I mean? That's you have to. Now, I think that Holliday will use this as a little bit of a humbling moment, as in because he's been touted as the best baseball player every single level he's been in.
Yeah.
And he got shown very quickly that can be stopped immediately in major leagues.
Little humble pie.
So, little humble pie. But I think he's going to, because of who his dad is, I think he's going to be professional enough to work around it and everything. And do I think he comes up again by the end of the year? Absolutely. Do I think he's on the extended roster come September? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't think we see him at least for a couple of months. I say we don't see him till maybe end of July or August, an August pull up.
Yeah.
So as long as the guys stay hot the way they are, I don't think you see him. Now, of course, if one of those guys, the Westbergs, the Mateos, if they just completely fall off the table, then yeah, he gets pulled up again because he is next best.
Yeah,
He's next best up. But if those guys continue to do what they're doing, I don't see him coming up until end of summer.
And I think when he comes back up, he lights it up.
I think so too. Yeah, I think he's a completely different guy when he comes back up. He's a different guy behind the plate and everything. Yeah, I agree with you.
So,
yep, in agreement.
Cool. We'll move on to Dad Moment of the Week.
You're first.
All right. I was thinking about this earlier, and I had something that I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. Definitely moving on that, but couldn't remember what that is right now. But I do have.
It'll come back.
Aubrey's birthday is coming up. She's going to be 4.
Happy early birthday.
On Monday. So
happy early birthday to you.
Yep. So we're doing a little birthday party for her this weekend.
There you go.
So
I'll fingers crossed the weather holds up.
She was a COVID baby, so that was
okay.
During the middle of COVID, like going in there, and I didn't have the baby, but my wife did. Yeah. But I was there.
Yep. You were there for support.
It was that was crazy. So, and man, there's something about those middle childs that they beat to their own drum, and that is her to a T. So, she's awesome.
That's awesome, man.
But that's awesome. It. That's my dad moment of the week.
There you go. Mine with Doc, he can finally breathe clearly.
Oh, wow.
I think that has to be mine. Shout out to him. We're waking up in the morning. I'm not having to suck boogers out for 5 minutes every single morning out of each night.
Yeah,
Poor
it's
guy.
no fun.
It's no fun at all. Nope. So yeah, just having that feeling that I know that when he goes to sleep, he's going to wake up and he's still feeling okay is great. He's eating more and more. I mean, he's just
going to be a big boy.
He's going to be a big boy. Yes. So put it this way. So my nephew, shout out Big Mac. He is 4 months older than Doc. He was born in October. He's 4 months older than Doc, and almost 4, like 3.5. Doc and him have the same size feet. Sorry, buddy.
Looking at you and your brother, none of this surprises
me. No. So, but Wes, Big Mac's a little thick. He's a thick kid.
Thick boy.
He's a thick boy. Yep. But yeah, it's just I think Doc's gonna catch it. I think Doc's gonna catch him in length here. He'll catch him in length before he catches him in weight. Because no matter how much I feed this kid, I don't know where it goes.
Not enough.
I don't know where it goes. It's just like he's just long. He's like a slinky on each arm and everything. Like when he spreads out, he grabs both sides. I'm like, dude, you're 3 months old. Why? How can you do that already?
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll end up being taller than me. But I have a lot of family history of people being over 6'5", like a lot.
Nice.
So yeah, I like to say I got the short end of the stick, and then people meet my brother. Sorry, Skip. Yeah, he got the real Italian in him with being under 5'11". But no, we got a lot of Polish people in my family who are 6'5" and above. So,
nice.
Yeah, I got a feeling Doc will be in that same boat, which makes me happy because I do have a nice little shoe collection that I kept from when I was a degenerate shoe collector.
Oh, really?
When I was a teenager, yeah. I worked at Champ Sports. Shout out Champ Sports. I don't even think they're around anymore.
There used to be one in the mall.
Was it?
I don't know if it's still there. I haven't been inside of there in forever.
Right. Last mall I've been in was Amazon Mall. That was online.
We're on Amazon every day.
Right. So, but I got shoes that are 10 and 12 years old that look brand new, still out the box. Nice. Size 13. So as soon as he gets to a size 13, he's going to have the best birthday ever.
There you go.
Here you go. Here's a whole closet of dad stuff.
He'll probably be in 13s for 6 months.
Yeah, right. And then move right on. I got throwback Jordans, 6-ring Jordans and all that kind of stuff in size 13 that I never wear. So
I'll be honest, I have no clue what that means. 6-ring Jordans? I'm just not the shoe guy.
I would because I
thought they were cool. I just never.
Yeah, that was my first job, was working at Champ Sports. So whenever the new Jordans would come in, I would take the only size 13 that would come in the whole package and put it up on the top shelf.
This one's gonna be for me.
Yep. Wait for payday. Yep. The boss would always come around and be like, "Why are we missing 13s again? Jordan never sends us a 13 ever. They always leave us short." I'm like, Yeah, I don't know, boss.
You got to tell your rep.
Right? Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what to tell you. So, but no, that was fun times. But yeah, that was my dad moment of the week is that my son is finally sinus clear. Obviously, I'm not. I'm still recovering. It's taken about 2 weeks for this to recover. Oh, and my fun food poisoning. Yeah, had food poisoning.
Shout
That was
out
fun.
to Maryland Knicks.
Yeah, Maryland. Shout out Maryland Knicks. Yeah, if you get the reference, you'll know the other place that I got it from. Good old chicken bacon ranch put the big guy down for 2 days, and I mean
Down for the count.
down for the count. Yes, couldn't stand up, like physically couldn't stand up. I never felt that weak in my life. I told my wife, I said, if I ever get a deafening sickness, that like cancer or something like that, I said, and I get this bad, I said the gun's over there. The gun's over there. I said, just take me out back and put me out the pasture. I
Old
said,
Yeller me.
because Old Yeller. Yes, what a reference, Old Yeller me. Yes, I love that. Oh, I'm gonna start calling that from now on. They take me out back at Old Yeller me.
Oh man.
Well
then,
I think that's a wrap.
I think that's a wrap.
Good quick episode. Good recap. What do we got coming up this week?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah,
I don't think there's really.
We're a little bit of a lull period.
Yeah. So we got baseball's on every night.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Watch the Orioles.
Yep. That's about it. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Is that
subscribe, unsubscribe, subscribe again?
Yeah, there we go.
Still trying for 50.
All right, let's see if this button actually works this time.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Did it work? Nope, still going.